Alright guys, hey, this is Matt. I want to make a quick video, just cover something very quickly on Biotech Insider. Okay, so if you've been following my emails for the last several days, you know that I have a new service for you and it's called Biotech Insider. And the reasons you should subscribe are plentiful. And one that I want to show you in this video is actually one that I didn't cover in the webinar. So it's pretty important that you pay attention. Just give me a few more seconds of your time, and I think you'll be interested to see what I'm about to show you. So the first thing, of course, I talked about in the webinar is the Form 4 insider buys. That covers stocks, cheap biotechs under $5 a share, where the executives buy shares, and they have to document that and file that with the SEC. And believe it or not, it's actually a very good tell as to whether or not a stock's going to make a move in the near future. Usually not overnight. It usually takes a few weeks. But anyways, as you saw from the webinar, if you haven't saw it yet, I encourage you to watch that and you'll see proof of my claim there. Another thing is unusual options activity. Talked about it in the webinar, but what I didn't talk about is the block trading. And I've developed a scanner. I actually kind of I kind of stole some of E-Trade's preset default settings for one of their momentum scanners, and I turned it into a momentum scanner. You can see it right here for stocks under $20 a share. So I watch this thing pretty much all day. You know, I have to run out sometimes. I don't stare at the computer all day during the trade day, but for most of the day I do. And what came up was this one right here. Now this is a recent IPO. Just ignore this, but this is VBLT. This hit my scanner. As you can see, it's telling me it was 2 hours and 33 minutes ago. I'm filming this video at about 3:07 Eastern time. And so if we go back 2.5 hours from now, that would be right here about 12:30, right? This actually, I remember, this actually picked this thing up. I think it was about $5.90 when I first saw this show up in my momentum scanner. So what I like to see is it trigger about at least 3 to 4 times. And then what happens a lot of times is I see explosive moves in these stocks, and it usually lasts for the entire day, sometimes multiple days. So, you know, looking at this scan, this would have no doubt been something, as I'm just, you know, getting the foundations laid here for the new newsletter. I'll be sending out the the very first issue of the newsletter this week, and that'll be to just to welcome folks and just to kind of get the ground running. Hit the ground running. But you know, this type of trade will be included. Okay, and you might say, well, why is this all included? You know, the truth is, you know, there's different sectors in the market, and some things just don't fit together well. You know, biotech stocks are in their own little world, right? And especially while this bull market is running, it might last another year or two. It might last 10 years. I don't know, but there will always be biotech stocks ready to make big moves, right? Regardless of what the biotech ETFs do and whatnot. So basically what I wanted to share with you was that this is yet another tool that I'm going to be using to help me find stocks ready to move higher, biotechs ready to move higher. In this case, these would be exciting short-term trades. So this wouldn't be, you know, something that you necessarily sit on for 2 months just hoping and waiting for a move, right? Like you would after a Form 4 insider buy. So just another wrinkle to this new newsletter that I wanted to share with you guys. VBLT, and then if you look at what's going on in the news, it tells you why basically this volume came in. It's because they're presenting at the ASCO conference on June 1st. They're showing what their new cancer technology can do to fight cancer. Okay, so you know that's the rhyme and reason to it. Why all this buying volume came in. Now a little bit more. One more thing behind the scenes, and I'm going to end this, is that what I believe this scanner picks up is institutional buying. So if you picture yourself, you know, you're trading your account, whatever your account size is, if you're trading next to, say, 5 or 10 institutional traders and they manage money for people, and they decide they want to buy a certain position, say they want to buy, you know, 200,000 shares of the stock, if you knew that as they're beginning to build that position, you could get in while they're still building their position and basically trade around the trading volume that they create, right? So I think it's a pretty nifty little strategy scanner that I have here, and it kind of lets you navigate around the whale traders, so to speak. And you're kind of like a dolphin or a shark, you know, swimming around that volume, that current they're creating, and just kind of riding the waves. So this is a cool scanner, and when it doesn't always pick up biotechs, like this isn't a biotech. You know, this isn't a biotech, but when it does, it's time to take note, because I'll tell you, this is not the first time I've seen these biotechs that hit this momentum scanner, and I'll tell you what, it's pretty exciting results more often than not. I've seen it now 3 times in just in the recent past. Okay, so this is just another wrinkle. Okay, so what I just showed you here is not in the webinar, so I wanted to make the video for it. Once again, this special introductory rate for the newsletter is going to expire soon, guys, and it's going to go to the monthly plan, which will be significantly higher cost for you if you want to take that. So take the plunge now. You can get it for $4.97 for a full year, and you get a 60-day money-back guarantee. So the risk is mine, not yours, right? I stand to lose, not you. All right, so I'll just end the video here. Just wanted to show you that. All right, guys, this is Matt signing off.